See, who do we have today for the first time in our Sunday school class? Who would have been your first time in our church to come to Sunday school class today? Just raise your hand. Yes, okay, we got these folks here. And who invited you to Sunday school?
Phew, the internet, actually.
Yeah, the internet invited them. So,
Tony.
I'm sorry?
Tony.
Tony invited them to Sunday school? I know you're making that up now. Whose friend did you come here as today?
Actually, I don't know that came with anybody's
What?
friend. I was just looking for a church in the area, so I found it.
Poor guy's innocent. I don't know whose guest I am. Well,
Whoever you want to make it.
yes, sir. Well, we have Brother Hurst, and
Brother Smith.
by the way, let me introduce Brother Hurst to you folks. Brother Hurst is a missionary with BIMI, and he is to South America, particularly Ecuador. I hope I said that correct. This is the first time I've met him. He let me know that he would be visiting, but the Wielanders actually know Brother Kurt, and too bad that you folks didn't coordinate and get him to come as your Sunday school guest. Now, I've had a lot of whining about this. By the way, it is whining about people calling me and talking to me and then coming to Sunday school and then me taking them for our guest. Brother, you don't count today. I'm very sorry about that.
It's okay.
But I don't know what else to do about it. People will get mad at me if I count you as my guest. But you're important, and I'm glad you came. But I do have two individuals in particular that came as my guests today, and that's Abraham and, Jackie. I keep calling her Catherine. I don't know why. But Catherine and Abraham are my guests, and they came to, did I say Catherine? Jackie came as my guest to Sunday school. We got to visit them last night. They committed to being here this morning, and they're here. Thank you for being my guest. Abraham, you're worth 10 yards. Jackie, you're worth 5 because you go to my class. So, I wish you were worth 10, but Abraham's more of a football player. I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and have our Sunday school football yards today. And by the way, do the students have any yards today? Does anyone that's a student here have any yards? It's teachers against the students. Any response to it? Okay, Abraham, let me ask you a question. When you play football, do you prefer to receive the ball from a pass, or you like to run the ball?
Run.
You like to run the ball? Okay, well, you're worth 10 yards, and so we're at the 20-yard line. And so I'm the quarterback today because he's my guest. And I passed the ball to Abraham. You want to hand off and run it up the middle, or you want to run around the outside?
Run around the outside.
Okay, so we hand it off to Abraham, and he runs around the outside. And just to do things different, he runs around to the left side and ends at the 20 or at the 10-yard line. And then Jackie is also my guest, and I'm the quarterback to pass the ball to Jackie. Jackie, would you like to run the ball or pass it? Would you want it passed to you or run
Run
it?
the ball.
What?
Run the ball.
You're going to go up the middle, right? Just knock everybody out of the way and take it right to the... Okay, so Jackie takes the ball to the 5-yard line, and this week the church workers are within 5 yards of a goal. And so, folks, do some recruiting. If there are people here today that didn't come to Sunday school, get them to come next week as your Sunday school guest. That's my advice to you. And I'm going to get them to come as my guest. So if you're here today and you want to come as my guest, let me let you know that you are invited to come as my guest next Sunday so that the teachers can score a touchdown and we get the football Super Bowl party for the teachers. Okay. If you're a visitor, you don't know anything that happened. I'll have to explain it to you later on. Brother, I'm glad that you're here today. We got to communicate a little bit. We didn't talk in person, but I did want to have you share just a little bit about who you are and what your ministry is. Would you mind just coming up and give a little testimony and then sharing a little bit about what you're doing right now?
Thank you, Pastor. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. My name is Richard Hurst. I am a missionary to the country of Ecuador in South America. Our home church is the Fairfax Baptist Temple in Fairfax, Virginia, so I'm a long ways from home. But it's a pleasure to be here. We have been in Ecuador for the last 15 years. We've started 2 churches. The first church we called Grace Baptist Church, and that's where Eliana came. She came to church when we were at the Grace Baptist Church, and she got baptized there. And so it's been about 3 years ago, I guess, she got married to Javier, who also is visiting with us, and they live over in West End. So I took this as an opportunity. We're currently on furlough, visiting our supporting churches, and and just giving a report. But my daughter is not graduating, but getting out of Pensacola for Christmas break, and so I thought, well, if I'm going to drive down to Pensacola, I might as well just drive down to Miami and take a flight.
Way, right?
It's on the way. It's kind of close. It's only about 10 hours away. So I thought I'll just go ahead and drive down and go to the field, because on our second church that we started, Faith Baptist Church, we started 3 years ago in 2006, and we had the third anniversary back in October. And the missionary that's taking over he told me that there were 110 people there on the third anniversary service. And so he said there was just a lot of things that are happening. He said it was a great service because we just moved into a building, a new building, because the building that we had was just didn't, everybody couldn't fit into the new building. The first building we had, we thought about going to double services just after the first year. But we were able to find another building that would be able to accommodate everybody, but now it looks like we're going to have to look for another building, because we have about 110 people, about probably 90 that come every single week. And so our anniversary service, of course, the third anniversary, and then the first service in our new building. And that same day, the missionary that was there, that's taking over everything, his wife went into labor right before Sunday school. So she was in labor during Sunday school. Of course, she was having contractions, everything else. Everybody's looking at her at Sunday school, and I said, you know, what's this like? A lot of people there have cesarean, but people were wondering what's it like, and so she said, his wife said, we need to leave after Sunday school, not because we need to get to the hospital, but because everybody keeps looking at me and I'm too much of a distraction, so let's go to the hospital. But of course she was ready anyway, and she delivered like 15 minutes after she got to the hospital. And so I thought, you know, the missionary has only been there for 3 years. He started helping us start the church, and he was still getting used to Spanish and everything. So I thought, you know, I'm just going to take this time and just go to Ecuador for the week and just try and be a blessing to him, and, you know, obviously take down a lot of Christmas gifts and whatnot from our church. So when I came down through, I thought, you know, this would be a great time in Miami area. Of course, I wanted Ileana, we still communicate back and forth, and she was pretty upset with me that I haven't come down to visit her, but not that upset, but she says, you need to come visit me, you need to come visit me. So I took that opportunity to come down to visit her, and of course looking for a good independent Baptist church and the area, and I was looking and searching through different websites, and went through the Sword of the Lord website and saw the Fort Lauderdale Baptist Church here, and then I saw that they had a website, and I started looking through it, and I said, well, it must be pretty good. Looks like everybody graduated from Pensacola. It's on the staff here. So and my daughter, talking to my daughter, she said, yeah, there are some people here not long ago from a church in Fort Lauderdale. So that's been where it was at. So right now we're on furlough, but also kind of, as I was telling Susan, I've known Susan for a long time, and we were single adults together. That was quite a number of years ago, I guess, but we've known each other for a long time, and of course then her husband Nick as well. I've known him for a shorter time, but I've known him as well. But we're also kind of considering our options right now. Ecuador is a country that is going socialist, and they're starting to close their doors, and our president Rafael Correa has and Hugo Chavez vacationed together. And so they're going the same way as Venezuela. Of course, Venezuela has already kicked out pretty much most of their American missionaries, and Ecuador, unless they change their president's, I can see they're going to be doing this probably the same thing. And it's already becoming much more difficult now to be a church planter in the country of Ecuador. So they obviously need our prayers. And of course, I understand that the United States is becoming, what people tell me, quite the socialist country as well. But obviously, you know, prayers, and so we're kind of considering our options. We're looking at different things, or if Ecuador does happen to close, we need a backup plan. Of course, Miami's been on my mind and heart for a long time as well. There's a lot of Spanish people, and so we're kind of looking at the area and trying to find out what they have available as far as Spanish works and other works here as well. So I know years ago when I came here, or actually when another member came here to Miami and trying to find a good church for them to get involved in, of course this is probably about 6 years ago, it was hard to find anything. I said, I really don't know. I don't know of any really good works in the Miami area, good churches you can go to in Miami. I'm sure there's got to be something out there, but I said, I just don't know of anything. So they eventually moved up to New Jersey anyway. So I said, well, when I get a chance to go to Miami, I need to go and actually look for the work. So I was happy to see that this church is here. So just keep on, and we obviously need better churches or good churches like this one, and